Welcome, folks, to the first episode of Season 2 of Starfleet Simplified. I'm Michael Shockman, I'll be your host and commentator, and in today's episode we will be covering the first ever move by the Federation of Planets, the United Federation of Planets, towards a military footing. Today we will be covering the Defiant class escort. After the Battle of Wolf 359 in 2367, the Starfleet recognized the need for a new class of starship, a heavily armed, single-purpose escort. A radical departure for Starfleet, the new class of ships would hold no civilian staff, no science labs, or many of the other tools typically used for exploration and science missions. The new Defiant class project was left in the hands of the then Lieutenant Commander Benjamin Sisko, himself a Wolf 359 survivor, and overseen by Admiral Batel Toh. The original design of the Defiant class began as a modification of the more traditional Pathfinder space frame, which would go on to form the basis of the Nova class. However, during the project's design phase, several modifications were made to the frame to improve battle performance, compacting the nacelles into the engineering hall, surrounding the hull with a multi-layer ablative armor, and submerging the bridge into a larger deck one than originally designed. The end result is a largely unrecognizable derivative of the Nova class. During the design and testing phases of the prototype, USS Defiant, registry NX 74205, the testing team identified several problems in the design, mainly related to the size of the engines in relation to the ship. Engineers described the problems as if the vessel were trying to shake itself apart when flying at full speed. Due to its focus on weaponry, engine power was routed through its weapon systems, resulting in higher combat yields, an arrangement which caused problems for its structural integrity field. Problems such as these, coupled with what was seen as a diminishing Borg threat, ultimately led the Defiant project to be shelved until 2371, when the Dominion destroyed the USS Odyssey, and Starfleet once again saw the need for a heavily armed escort. The first full crew of the Defiant class prototype, based on space station Deep Space Nine, operated the ship heavily during the Dominion War, and worked in the field to correct these problems, passing along their enhancements to the Starfleet Corps of Engineers for inclusion in subsequent vessels, such as the USS Sao Paulo, later renamed the Defiant after the original destruction at the hands of the Breen, the USS Ajax, and the USS Alaska. Ultimately, the trials by fire faced by the initial crew of the Defiant prototype and the hard work of the SCE allowed the Defiant class to play an important part in the Dominion War, and also allowed the USS Defiant to come full circle when the ship participated in repelling the Borg invasion of 2373. As for the armament and the specifications of the Defiant class, ladies and gentlemen, the Defiant is an escort type. Its production base is ASDB Integration Facility on Terrace Fleet Yards and Terrace 4. It has an overall length of 170.68 meters, a beam of 134.11 meters, and a height of 30.1 meters. Compared to a Galaxy class, it is tiny. It has a mass of only 355,000 cubic or metric tons, so roughly, I'd say probably about probably around 7 million metric tons, which is really small. Its accommodation, it can accommodate 40 officers and crew, and it has 150 personal evacuation limit. It has its power plant is one 1500 plus Cochrane warp core feeding 2 nacelles and 2 impulse modules. It has a performance of warp 9.982 for 12 hours. And its armament, which is the most impressive, are 4 pulse phaser cannons and 2 torpedo launchers. Excuse me. As for my personal feelings on the Defiant class, ladies and gentlemen, I think this ship is, not only because of what it represents as the first really ever dedicated warship for the United Federation of Planets, I think it is one of the best ships ever made. To quote Lieutenant Commander Riker, it is a tough little ship, and it definitely punches way above its well above its weight class. And I think that in the hands of a seasoned commander, it can really do some real cool things, and it is a really deadly vessel to be a part of and to be captain of. Yeah, enough said. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to about do it for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to stay tuned for the outro to find out how you can best support the channel. I really enjoyed doing this thing on the Defiant class in this season, which I'm doing now for a quick little project to kill some time and also keep you guys up to date with content. I'm really looking forward to being able to get into the Dominion War era new combat vessels. Stay tuned for next week when we cover the Akira class. I'm Michael Shockman, folks. I've been your host and commentator, and until next time, bye-bye for now. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Secondly, if stream bucks are plentiful, please consider supporting the channel either by subscribing on Twitch, pledging on Patreon, or by grabbing some merch over at the Shock Shop. The links to all of these will be in the About section and in the description down below. Again, thank you to all of our supporters for all of the likes, shares, and views. I really appreciate it, and without all of you, our work here would not be possible. I'm Michael Shockman, folks. I've been your host and commentator, and remember, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy, and we will see you guys all again soon in the next one. Peace off, everybody.